Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Kazi Shoheli Ahmed. I will take class on class 8. In our last classes, we took narration change or speech change, and that was from assertive sentence. But today we will do changing on interrogative sentences. First of all, we need to reminder that though the sentence was an interrogative sentence, সেন্টেন্সটা ইন্টারোগেটিভ সেন্টেন্সে চেঞ্জ করতে হবে, কিন্তু যখন আমি চেঞ্জ করব অ্যান্সার শুড বি ইন ফ্রম অ্যাসার্টিভ সেন্টেন্স। অ্যান্সার উইল বি the form of assertive sentence. Interrogative sentence হোক, imperative sentence হোক, narration change এর সময় যখন আমার অ্যান্সারটা আসবে, when it will transferred into the answer, that time from direct to indirect, that time answer will be in the assertive form. And second one is the reporting verb will changes by ask, inquire of. Reporting verb will be changes by ask, inquire of, demand. তাহলে কি হলো, a reporting verb will be changes by ask, inquire of, demand, want to know, want to know. That means when it will change the sentence, our reporting verb will also do changes like ask, inquire of, demanded, wanted to know, want to know, etc. Another thing is reported speech ta jodi. If in a reported speech, if reported speech has auxiliary verb, like am, is, are, was, were, have, has, do, does, did, had, shall, will. রিপোর্টিং ভার্ব গুলোতে রিপোর্টের স্পিচে যদি অক্সিলারি ভার্ব থাকে, তখন আমরা উত্তর দেওয়ার সময় when we will give the answer, that time reported speech that changes by if or whether. That means when we change narration or when we change speech from direct to indirect, that time in assertive sentence we used after that comma, we used that, but it changes by if or whether in interrogative sentence. Please, dear students, write it down in your copies. Now, another important thing is, if reported speech started with WH form, like in pronoun form, interrogative, relative pronoun form if reported speech started with WH form like who, whom, where, which, how. That time we will not write in our answer if or whether. আমরা কি বলেছিলাম, যদি অক্সিলারি ভার্ব দ্বারা কোয়েশ্চেন করে ইন্টারোগেটিভ সেন্টেন্স হয় তখন চেঞ্জের সময় আমাকে ইফ বা ওয়েদার দিয়ে রিপোর্টেড স্পিচটা চেঞ্জে শুরু করতে হবে দ্যাট এর পরিবর্তে। কিন্তু যদি ইফ রিপোর্টেড স্পিচ স্টার্ট উইথ WH ফর্ম, যদি রিপোর্টেড স্পিচটা WH ফর্ম থাকে তখন that time we will not use if or whether. That time we will use we'll keep WH form in the sentence. We will keep WH form in that sentence. সেই সেন্টেন্সে আমরা WH ফর্মটাই রাখবো, WH ফর্মের কোনো চেঞ্জ হবে না। After finishing these, we will practice two sentences like with auxiliary verb and with WH form. Ranu said to his brother, will you go to school? I hope all of you have written these. That's why I erase one by one line. In our example 1, here we see that Ranu said to his brother, will you go to school? In this sentence, will you, that means sentence is with auxiliary verb. Sentence টা কিসের আছে? ইন্টারোগেটিভ সেন্টেন্সটা আছে auxiliary verb এ। তাহলে আমি যখন রুলস গুলো লিখেছি, when I wrote over the rules, that time I already informed that with auxiliary verb, for your help I will write like this, with auxiliary verb here if or whether, when WH form, that time WH form will stay at WH form and reporting verb will changes by ask, want to know, etc. এরকম কোশ্চেন যেগুলোতে থাকবে সেই রকম করে করতে হবে। এখন ফার্স্ট সেন্টেন্স, হিয়ার ইন দ্য ফার্স্ট সেন্টেন্স রানু said to his brother, will you go to school? In first sentences Ranu said to his brother, Ranu কি করলো? কোয়েশ্চেন করেছিল will with auxiliary verb. That means here when we changes that comma, that side will changes if or whether. Ranu said to, and here reporting verb will be ask. Answer here, Ranu asked. Said in past form, that's why I write here asked. Ranu asked his brother. Now in our rules I told you that will changes by if, then we will write here if you আছে। In first class I already informed that you will be replaced by a pronoun or subject. Then here Ranu asked, Ranu kake question korechilo? His brother. So if here subject will be if he. If he will changes by would. If he would go to school. Another example. He said to me, are you ill? He said to me. And this sentence has also an auxiliary verb. So said will replace by he asked me, as this is the sentence of interrogative sentence. He asked me, and comma will replace by if or whether. He asked me if. You is the present, or you replaced me by me. That means he asked me if I were ill. In our first class, I write a chart over there. That means when in past form, it will be, that means when this reporting verb is in past form and inverted comma, it is in present form, it will also transferred in simple past form. Like you are you ill in simple present form. I were ill. I said to my brother, were you reading this novel? Look at this sentence. This one is interrogative sentence. We already get this because here is note of interrogation. Another thing is where and reading. So this sentence is in past continuous tense. And when we changes it, indirect sentence, that time it will changes by past perfect continuous. Like answer will be, I said to my brother. I asked my brother. And it is also a form of auxiliary verb. So I here use whether. If or whether, whatever you want, you can use. Whether, were you, that means whether he. Because I asked my brother. My brother is a main person. That's why I use here he. Whether he had been. Because past continuous will changes by past perfect continuous. Whether he had been reading even these here, and this will changes by that novel. Look, in our question it was an interrogative sentence, and from the very beginning in our class I already informed that when we changes it in through direct to indirect, that time sentence will be in assertive form. এই সেন্টেন্সটা কিন্তু এখন আমার অ্যানসারটা অ্যাসার্টিভ ফর্মেই চলে এসেছে। Nazma said to Rakib have Nazma said to Rakib, have you taken my pen? First of is clear to us, that means we will use wanted to know or asked, but here this sentence is in present perfect tense, so it will changes into past perfect tense. Have you taken my pen, and the sentence started with auxiliary verb, so we will take if Nazma asked Rakib whether you taken my pen. You means Rakib and my pens is represented by Nazma. Rakib, whether he, and have represent present perfect, and answer will be in past perfect, whether he had taken my pen means Nazma's pen or her pen. Here we can write Nazma's pen or whatever we can write Nazma's pen or her pen. Cause my pen represents Nazma. Nazma female person, or that's why here my will be changes by her pen, and have you asked Nazma asked Rakib. So here he represents Rakib. Nazma asked Rakib whether he had taken her pen. And another thing is, this all the exercise now we do, it was from auxiliary verb. Now we will exercise with WH form. If I write here, Naima said to me. Naima said to me. Where do you live? Last examples were in auxiliary verb, but here in reporting speech, it starts from WH form with WH form. So WH form has no change. WH form is in WH form. And another important thing is these sentences is in present form. Where do you live? So here Naima asked me, and we will not use here if or whether, cause it is from WH form. Me, where do you? That means where I live. Where I lived. তাহলে আমার এখানে ডুটা কোথায় চলে গেল? Because do was in present form and it was in question form. But when we changes in indirect sentence, that time sentence will be in assertive sentence. That's why we will not use any question mark. Here, where I lived. This sentence was in simple present tense, and this sentence is in simple past tense. And it was in simple present. Again, I am repeating this. Whatever in the question, it is interrogative sentence, but answer will be in assertive sentence. And in reported speech, will changes depends on reporting verb. If reporting verb is past form, that time reported speech will be in past form. Rina said to his father, what are you doing? This sentence I will change 2 times, cause in first sentence I write here what are you doing, that time I will change, and in second sentence look at this, Rina said to her father, what were you doing? First sentence is in present continuous tense, cause here am is our present, that after that verb plus ing, and second sentence is in past continuous tense. But in first class, and still I'm telling that we will changes depends on reporting verb. So what are you doing? It is present continuous tense, but reporting verb is in past form. So here the changes will be, Rina asked her father, as it is WH form, here WH form will stay. Father, what are you doing? That means what he is doing. But here as the past indefinite, so here what he was, here he represent her father. That's why here he, what he was doing. Second sentence is in past continuous, and it will be changes in past perfect continuous. So Rina asked her father what he had been doing. When I wrote the chart in first class, that time I informed you that you have to remember tenses changes, what is in direct sentence and what will be changes in indirect sentence. Write down in your copies. So these 2 types of question you will get in your question paper, like with auxiliary verb, interrogative sentence, and another thing is WH form. Now we will change imperative sentence. As in interrogative sentence, we use ask, wanted, required, as in interrogative sentence, reporting verb changes by ask, wanted, but here reporting verb will changes by if they represent request. That means অনুরোধ বোঝালে request বসবে, আদেশ বোঝালে order, if in order or command. But most of the time command means soldiers get the command, or army, police, boss. Advice যদি উপদেশ বোঝায়। In imperative sentence, if we get as request, we can tell order, we can command, even in otherwise tell use করতে পারবো, or otherwise we can use tell. We can use tell. Though in direct sentence it will be in imperative sentence, but in indirect the sentence will be in assertive form. Comma will changes. In assertive sentence, comma will replace by that, and in interrogative sentence, comma will replace if, whether or WH form, and in imperative sentence, comma will replace or changed by to. কমাটার পরিবর্তে কি বসবে? কমা উঠে গিয়ে টু বসবে। So let's go, we will practice like mother. Mother say to her son, comma, always speak the truth. Mother said to her son, always speak the truth. It is one kind of advice. মানে মা উপদেশ দিচ্ছে, অথবা always respect your teacher, always obey your parents, like this. So mother advised. Mother advised her son, and comma will replace into to. After that, from verb to object. To speak the truth, then we will use always. So comma will replace by to, then we will take from main verb to the object. আমরা একদম টু ভার্বটা থেকে, টু এর পরে মেইন ভার্বটা থেকে শুরু করে, ভার্ব থেকে শুরু করে লাস্ট পর্যন্ত যাব। এখানে আমরা আরেকটা জিনিস নিয়ে নিতে পারি, সেটা হচ্ছে নিষেধাজ্ঞা বা নিষেধ বুঝালে তখন আমরা কি ইউজ করব? ফরবিড। আবার উৎসাহ বুঝালে এনকারেজ। I hope all of you have written in your copies, so I erase the board, then we will practice with these. Father said to his son, do not quarrel. Here do not means jhogda koro na. So don't quarrel is one kind of nishedhagga, and for this we will use forbid. তাহলে কি হবে? Past form, so we will use forbid. Father forbade to his son. Father forbade to his son. Here do not will replace by not to quarrel. because we will use to for comma, but here do not. That means in negative form. That's why we use here his son not to quarrel. Another example is the captain said to the soldiers, fire on. Fire on. Here the captain. I already informed that in army, soldiers, এগুলোতে আমাদের কমান্ড করতে হয়, আমাদের যে বসরা থাকে তারা কমান্ড করে আর্মিতে, পুলিশদের এদেরকে। So here we will write command. So the captain commanded. The captain commanded the soldiers. The soldiers, and comma will replace by to fire on. Please write down in your copies. Thing is, if in a sentence there is like one kind of addressing, like friends, sir, here we will write addressing them. Jodi kono sentence erokom friend thake jemon he said to them, he said to them, friends help me. Here friends, that means বন্ধুরা। এরকম ফ্রেন্ডস থাকলে বা স্যার এরকম যদি থাকে তখন আমরা ফার্স্টে সেন্টেন্সটা শুরু করতে হবে অ্যাড্রেসিং দিয়ে, অ্যাড্রেসিং দেম অ্যাজ ফ্রেন্ডস, কারণ তাদেরকে অ্যাড্রেস করা হচ্ছে বন্ধুরা বা ছাত্ররা। এরকম যদি থাকে স্টুডেন্টস, তাহলে তখন কি হতো, যদি বলতাম ছাত্ররা কথা শোনো বা শিক্ষার্থীরা কথা শোনো, এই যে এরকম জিনিস বা বন্ধুরা আমাকে সাহায্য করতে হবে, সেই জিনিসের ক্ষেত্রে আমাকে প্রথমে উই উইল রাইট অ্যাড্রেসিং দেম অ্যাজ ফ্রেন্ডস, অ্যাড্রেসিং দেম অ্যাজ স্টুডেন্ট, অ্যাড্রেসিং দেম অ্যাজ স্যার, অ্যাড্রেসিং দেম অ্যাজ ম্যাডাম, লাইক দিস। সো অ্যাড্রেসিং দেম অ্যাজ ফ্রেন্ডস, হি said to them, তাহলে কি হলো, অ্যাড্রেসিং দেম অ্যাজ ফ্রেন্ডস হি রিকোয়েস্টেড, যেহেতু ফ্রেন্ডস হেল্প মি ছিল, হি রিকোয়েস্টেড অনুরোধ করেছে, হি রিকোয়েস্টেড টু হেল্প হিম, তার মানে ফ্রেন্ডস হেল্প মি আমাকে সাহায্য করে, তাহলে তাদেরকে কি বন্ধুরা বলে অ্যাড্রেস করেছে, তাদেরকে ডাক দিয়েছে, তাহলে অ্যাড্রেসিং দেম অ্যাজ ফ্রেন্ডস হি রিকোয়েস্টেড টু হেল্প হিম। Today we will adjourn this class till this. After that, when we will come back in our next class, we will do changing the imperative sentence with let's. যেই সেন্টেন্সটাতে আমরা নেক্সট ক্লাসে করব কি, যে ইম্পারেটিভ সেন্টেন্সে যে সেন্টেন্সে লেটস বা লেট দিয়ে শুরু হবে সেই সেন্টেন্সটা কেমন থাকবে। আশা করি তোমরা ক্লাসে এতটুকু যতটুকু করেছি, টিল দেন ইউ উইল আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড। ইফ ইউ উইল নট আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড, দেন ইউ উইল প্লিজ ask me any question of this class or previous classes, and after that we'll come back with let's. and please practice it in your home.